Welcome to Canine Handler Fitness. This is a podcast for dog sport handlers who want to feel strong, capable, and confident in their bodies. Hi, my name's Liz Joyce. I am a strength and conditioning coach, and I specialize in fitness for agility and dog sport performance. In this podcast, we cover everything you need: strength, speed, mobility, and endurance. All the things to keep you moving, performing, and doing what you love, both in and out of the ring. Let's dive into today's episode. Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we're talking about why running feels so hard and also why more effort isn't the answer. We're gonna start the conversation with a question. Okay, have you ever watched, I think I know the answer to this, have you ever watched a run from a trial or a sprinting practice and thought to yourself a few things? Why do I look like I'm working so hard? But more often what I hear from people is, why was that so hard when I look at the video I wasn't moving that fast? Like the effort that I put into that run didn't translate into me looking like an insane runner. That's usually the first thing that people notice. It's a lived experience. They feel like they're legit fighting for their life. They're fighting for every single split second. They're working so hard. I'm here to just tell you that sometimes, and often, most of the time, the issue here isn't fitness, but the issue here is efficiency. And that's what we're talking about today. I want to give it to you like an analogy. Okay, imagine this. You're in a parking lot, grocery store parking lot. You parked at the back side of the parking lot. You got two options. One cart rolls beautifully. You know, those big kind of juicy tires, the ball bearings are brand new. Everything just moves so nice. It's like squishy. It doesn't bounce over the gravel. It's just nice. The other cart has one of the wheels that's jammed sideways, and like there's a special place in hell for people that leave these out in grocery stores. I hate these carts, but let's say I asked you to push this broken cart across the parking lot to the back where your vehicle was parked. Could you do it? Probably. Would it be harder? I mean, yeah. And you could probably get it across the lot, right? But every step, when you're thinking about cart A or cart B, every step with the busted up wheel one is going to cost you more effort than it should. It's going to take you longer and it's going to be harder. And the problem here isn't you, right? It's not you. It's not your engine. The problem is that your energy is being lost. And most handlers think that they need a bigger engine. What am I talking about? I'm talking about having a bigger engine. I'm talking about more strength, more fitness, endurance, conditioning. But sometimes, and actually most of the times, what people need really is just to get their wheels pointed in the same direction. What kind of breaks my heart about that is that when people watch themselves sprint and it feels a lot harder than what it looks like, they assume, and I know that people assume this because I get emails like this all of the time. And this like really does hurt my heart. The emails sound a lot like, I'm slow because I'm out of shape, or I'm slow because I gained 20 pounds last year, or I'm slow because I turned 42, or I'm slow because of X, Y, and Z. And when we think about how we're going to get you moving faster, think about it like a big conversation, like a buffet, right? There's all these different things. And like these other components, you know, other things that I just talked about could be little pieces of the pie, but they're not the whole pie, right? And like, let's look at the whole pie and take the stuff off the table that makes you feel bad about yourself and just get you moving better so you can feel great about yourself. We're going to talk about energy leaks here real quick, okay? Because this really is what we're talking about. How do we plug your energy leaks so that when you're moving, you can use all of your engine's power to go forward and crush your goals? I want you to think about your energy like a bank account. And every sprint starts with a specific deposit. Let's say you have $100 in your bank account. There's only so much available, right? There ain't no credit cards overdraft on this thing. Some people spend their energy very wisely. But others, and this happens all the time, have these auto withdrawals that happen every few seconds. And they're things like bad posture, or having too much tension in their upper body, or poor arm mechanics, or overstriding. Y'all are paying fees constantly. And then you wonder why you're kind of, broke halfway through the run. And the problem isn't necessarily that you didn't start with enough energy, but it's that you're spending it everywhere else. An energy leak is anything that costs more effort than it gives back. And there are a couple of examples that we're going to talk about really quick here. The first one, and we're talking about this because it is the most common one that I see, is overstriding. When people are going a specific speed, right? They're running, this is as fast as I'm going to run, and they think about adding more speed. Most people think about adding more distance in their strides. So like, I really got somewhere to go. I better take longer strides and really cover a lot of ground. But what happens is that they reach further in front of them. They kind of throw their foot in front of their body. And this is the problem. When your foot lands too far in front of the center of the mass, it's like putting brakes on your own movement. You're going to know that you're doing this if your heel touches first when you're sprinting. When we're walking, we want our heel to touch first. When we're jogging, we want to land kind of midfoot. But when you're really sprinting, we want to be primarily on your forefoot, midfoot, forefoot, but more to the front of the foot. We want to be moving forward, right? But when your foot again lands in front of you, now your body has to travel over that foot before you can push again. And that is overstriding, and it causes people to lose so much speed. And instead of using energy to propel yourself forward, and this is why it's an energy leak, right? Instead of using the energy to push forward, you're going to use some of that energy to slow yourself down and then speed yourself back up again. So every single stride becomes brake, accelerate, instead of propel, propel, propel. And the leak maybe isn't huge in like a step, but nobody sprints one step. Y'all are sprinting hundreds of steps every run, times all the runs you do in a weekend, times all the times you do that over the course of a month and a year. It's a lot. The next thing we're going to talk about is having too much tension in your body, because most people think about running faster means trying harder. And what happens a lot is that they start to sprint with clenched jaws, tight fists. Their shoulders come up, their arms get rigid, their upper body gets stiff, and everything is working. This is why it's a leak. This is why it's a problem. Is that the muscles that are helping you move forward aren't the only muscles that are burning energy anymore. Now your neck is working, your jaw is working, forearms, shoulders, and none of these things are helping you get down the field, but they're just using fuel. It's like driving with the parking brake partially on. Your car is still going to move. Yeah, the engine is still working for sure, but you're wasting energy the whole time and not getting there as fast as you could be. I also want to talk about aging and sprinting, because as a population, every single human, every single day and every minute, we're all getting a little older, right? And this is something that I hear a lot, is people tell me things like, I used to be really fast, or running used to be easy for me, or I just really don't know what happened. And the assumption often for people is, I'm getting older. And for sure, age does play a role. We know that as we get older, in our bodies, we have fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers. Our slow twitch stuff is for posture. The muscles along your back are slower twitch fibers. We also have fast twitch fibers, and those fast twitch fibers are things that help us move quickly. And those do atrophy much faster than our slower twitch fibers as we get older. So aging does impact this, but also it's highly trainable, right? And most of the time, what I see in people, the people that I work with who feel like their age has such a huge part to do with their sprinting, what I really see is just years of movement habits that have accumulated. Things like having a little less mobility, or sitting a lot more, or, more tension, or being able to lift their knee less high, having a little less core strength, having a little less mobility in their upper body. People choosing to do a little less athletic movement each year. And then one day, all of a sudden, it's like sprinting just feels awful. But it wasn't just one big thing, but it was hundreds of tiny things that are adding up. And when I look at and work with handlers who are in the aging population, like even 40 and over, the things that I don't look at is, how old is this person? And is that a reasonable thing? Like, I never do that. I always look at, how is this person moving, and how can we make them move more efficiently and have more control about their body? So the takeaway today is pretty simple. Before you assume that you need to work harder, I want you to ask yourself whether or not you're wasting energy. And before you assume that you need more conditioning, I want you to ask yourself if you think you're moving efficiently or not. And also, here's the last one. Before you assume that you're slow because you're older, ask whether you've developed movement habits that are costing you speed, because speed isn't only about producing more, it is also about wasting less. If this episode has you wondering whether you have some leaking sprint speed somewhere in your own running, I've got some really exciting class coming up. It is a brand new 3-week class through Fancy Dog Sports Academy called Sprint Fixes. Over 3 weeks, what we're going to do is starts with a webinar. The webinar is going to walk you through the top 5 errors that I see in people's sprinting mechanics. What are the quick fixes? Why these things are making you move slower? And then over the next 3 weeks, we're going to talk about how to identify. How can you tell which of these errors are ones that you're making? Learning how to recognize them in your own movement, and then also give you drills that are practical, easy to put into play so that you can really just practice it and change how you move so you can move faster without necessarily trying or working all that much harder. What you need to do for this class, the goal, the commitment level is 3 short sprint workouts per week so you can immediately apply what you're learning. The sprint workouts are 15 to 20 minutes long. The only equipment and space that you need are running shoes, a water bottle, and you're gonna need someplace that's flat and safe for you to run. I'm gonna link all the details in the show notes, and I hope to see you there. There are going to be 12 gold spots. In these gold spots, people get to send me video up to 6 minutes every single week so we can dive into exactly what you're doing in your sprints and also go through all of the different drills and make sure that your mechanics are on point so we can make the most progress possible. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it is remarkable what people can do in 3 weeks when they adjust how they move. The sprinting speed and efficiency and ease of movement just unlocks. It's such a beautiful thing to see, and I hope to see you there.
Thanks so much for being here with me today and choosing to spend this time investing in yourself. I hope you feel encouraged to take action. Even the smallest steps forward will add up in ways you cannot even imagine yet. If this episode gave you something to think about or lifted you up, please share it with a friend. You really never know who might need these tools today. For more information, practical tools, and resources to help you get stronger and confident both in and out of the ring, head on over to caninehandlerfitness.com. You can also find me on all the socials under the same name, so come on over and say hi. I'm here to help you build the skills, knowledge, and belief you need to reach your goals. Keep going, keep learning, and most of all, keep showing up for yourself. You've got this, and I'll be here cheering for you every step of the way.